Welcome to Backstage with Richard Ridge. I'm in the Tony Awards suite at Sofitel NYC, which is the official hotel for the 2019 Tony Awards. And I'm sitting with the 4 Tony-nominated stars of the hit musical Tootsie. Please welcome Santino Fontana, Lilli Cooper, Sarah Stiles, and Andy Grotelueschen. Thank you all for visiting me here in the Tony Awards suite. I had your creators here the other day. I had Scott Ellis where Lilli is, Robert Horn in the middle, and David Yazbek here.
What a nightmare.
We're sorry.
We tried to take a shirt off. Were they throwing rolls?
David started outside and said, I'm gonna sunbathe for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. I said, Scott, what are you gonna do? He said, I'm only the director of the show. I'm not gonna reel these other two in. It was hilarious.
When they're together, you can't.
They're currently working on ADD the musical. It's a 2-person show. They're doing it.
Well, let's get into that. What is it like? I mean, you're in this. This is one of the most hilarious musicals. I told you I was back there again at the matinee yesterday. I had the best time at Tootsie. I mean, you're living in the world created by David Yazbek, Robert Horn, and of course your director, Scott Ellis, and choreographer Dennis Jones. What's it like living in the world of Tootsie? Somebody go.
Wacky.
Yeah.
It's fun. I don't know. We're having so much fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. It's definitely fun.
It's fun.
We like it. We're enjoying our time.
No, we are having a great time. We do feel super lucky to be a part of this. And also, I mean, how can you not? The audience is, they go crazy every night. They tip over in their seats and scream with laughter. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're lucky.
It's true. It's a great thing to be in something that is this funny and with a cast of people that are so good at what they do, and to be able to, I mean, they kind of kid around because I'm out there most of the time, so I'm able to kind of gauge how it's going, and I can tell every audience is slightly different, of course, but we always get them at the same points, which is fascinating to watch and kind of great because it's undeniable. You can't, I know they don't know what's going to come, and I do, and it's great to get to see everybody come in and out and be like, how's it going today? How's it going tonight? And I'm like, watch.
And this is one of the things that I love about this, though, is because, in addition to your wonderful acting and transformational skills,
there's a lot
you're
of judgment
also...
there. Did you notice the judgment? That's called sarcasm.
You're also...
Yeah.
You are the MC of the evening.
Yeah, it's a weird hybrid. It is.
And so sometimes when we walk out, like I get to read on your face how
it's going.
Yeah. I don't enter really until like 30 minutes into the show.
Yeah, I know. I counted.
So
30 minutes I'm alone.
That's
you really get to warm them up.
We go away for 40 minutes and play cards.
And sometimes if the audience isn't particularly lovely, which they're always lovely.
Yeah. Are you going down this road? Are you going down this road?
If it happens, or if we're not particularly great, which we're always perfect, but she'll finish your song, or they'll leave. Or Julie Austin will come to me and they'll say like goodbye, and I'm like, don't go. Don't go. Don't leave. Why does everyone leave, Herbie? Why does everyone leave? You get that. It's true. But it is kind of like, it's both Carol Burnett and like, I remember seeing those shows with Nathan Lane or Andrea Martin or Martin Short. You see those shows that are kind of hybrid. Zero Mostel. Like there are so many of those classic musicals or comedies where that lead character is both, has to be in the scenes, but is also stepping in for the audience often. Mm-hmm. So I'm surrounded by people who often say insane things.
Yeah.
And the audience and I, yes, your hair is hiding it, but you can. But I'm stepping in then for the audience as well to recognize. Wait, what did you just say? That's insane. And then we move on with the scene. So,
that is true. Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. It's super fun.
It's so awesome. And the backstage life is really great, too. We like each other, which doesn't
really
always happen either.
You can tell that on this show. I mean, you were all in the trenches. It's got to be so hard to put together a brand new Broadway musical.
It is.
I'm sure it's like baking a cake. You want to put all these ingredients and you think it's going to taste great.
And there were a lot more ingredients at certain points.
Yeah.
Different ingredients.
Had to
Savory,
throw out.
sweet, spicy.
But it must be so great because we know friends who went to Chicago to see the show and loved it there. But it must be so great to have had the opportunity to work on this show out of town, do your changes, then come into New York. I mean, like what was Chicago like for everybody?
Chicago felt more like a vacation to me than it did work. You know,
Yeah.
like we got to
Not
work
for
on
me.
this show. We got to work on the show that we loved, and we had a great time. And we also got to explore Chicago and hang out on rooftops and things and
Hot tubs.
So it was I loved it, and it was really cool being able to develop relationships with each other and then come back to New York and already know each other so well. You can't really fake chemistry, and I feel like we all have this really unique, special chemistry with each other that reads on and off stage.
Yeah.
It was great. I love Chicago.
Yeah. Because, this is a movie everybody loves, but it was a movie written at a different time. And then you have the genius of Robert Horn entering into the picture.
She wasn't born.
Yeah. You
We were.
neither,
But
you
she
were
wasn't born.
You were
That's-
born
Yeah.
that
I was born that year. I was trying to protect them.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I'm kidding.
We're the two old ones on this side.
But you look great. You
Great,
both
thanks.
look great.
No, but it must be really great when you first got this. I mean, Robert Horn did such a beautiful job with the book of changing it the way the movie was. I mean,
Yeah.
what was it like working with Robert Horn and having him perfect stuff on you? That must have been so great because he created all these comic moments for you.
Dude.
You should talk.
Yeah,
you have a lot of that.
He loved Sandy. He loves Sandy so much that
Yeah.
he just loved writing for that character. And he would send me text messages constantly. Started in Chicago, and they'd be so deep, full of 10 different jokes for one moment at a time, and I would choose which ones I wanted to try that night, and that happened all the way through previous, up until we froze the show. So he's so accessible in that way, and he wants to collaborate with you, he wants your opinion about it, and he's really excited about it. He's like a little kid. He loves this script. He loves these people. He wants to take care of them and make sure that they're shown in the best light and give them the best opportunities to make the people laugh. And that's a cool thing.
Writing the book of a musical is the hardest thing.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things to do. And people don't totally understand what goes into that because it's complicated. But what he has done is, it's remarkable. Not only just to write a book of a musical that works both on a comedic level, but also on a story level and an emotional level, and then the adaptation and dealing with what we're dealing with. So it is a huge, triumph of what he has accomplished. We know that because we've all been in those readings of musicals where you're like, ooh, what's going on?
Lilli, for your character, I love what he's given you because everybody can relate to you that's sitting in that audience. So someone who's been through a relationship or trying to find their way into a career and where that balance is, and then you meet Dorothy Michaels and all of a sudden you see this person. What was it like working on her?
I feel so close to her as an actress. I feel like my character of Julie and Lilli Cooper are very similar to one another. I have this great song in Act 1 called There Was John, which is about all the sacrifices that she has made as an artist to do what she loves, and it just feels so honest and real and true, and it was a great process with Robert Horn on discovering her because it was 100% a collaboration. We would talk on the phone before rehearsals would even start, just about developing her as an actress and as a character and making sure that she had a full arc and, motives. And so it was really a hands-on collaborative communication. And you don't get that all the time. So it felt like a really unique experience. And it's all very meta, actors playing actors. And so it was, I just thoroughly enjoyed it, and it feels like I'm sort of representing us on stage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Andy, for you, your role, hilarious.
Good.
Working, I guess you have to be given lines. No, I'm kidding. No, but seriously, working with Robert Horn and just perfecting this, what's it been like for you?
Well, again, as Sarah said, there's just so many different versions of things. And I remember, before rehearsal even started, when we were just doing workshops, and he would sit outside with a laptop, and he would just it was just a PowerPoint, or looked like a PowerPoint in his Word doc that was these 10 jokes can all go in there. So which one will it be? Okay, great. But then also the process of finding what works is also finding what doesn't work, which is really, really lovely and vulnerable and sometimes awful. And you get like one shot to try this new joke out in front of 1,500 people, and I also dropped something when I tried to deliver it, and that's the one time that will live.
But I laughed.
Yes, for the wrong reason.
There was a Gandhi joke that I was like, we're going to try that
so
tonight?
much.
It's going in? Okay, good luck. It's the 1 second I'm off stage right before, and he told it, and it was just like, and I could not stop.
That scene used to be like a whole birthday party. That first scene, and then it became just the three of us, and so that one got rewritten a lot. And we would run that before every single show because we had to, because we never knew what was going on.
Sure, it changed all the time.
Oh, all the time, all the time.
But he's a comic genius. He's the writer who would have been with, like, on the Sid Caesar show.
Absolutely.
Or the Harold Burnett, where you're like, or even SNL, where it's like, oh, this didn't work in the dress rehearsal. 2 seconds later, here's 5 that are even better.
Yes. Isn't that
I used
crazy?
to have lines in my lunchbox because I'm like, listen, I'm fine. Or in the menus, I was like, I'm fine changing all of this, but you gotta help me out because I will not remember. I'm thinking about my wig and the corset. So my lines would be like in the script, in the menu, or in my lunchbox, hidden all over the place. Oh.
All right, talking about the corset and the wig, you're nonstop on that stage. You kick the show off as Michael. And the interesting thing yesterday watching this show, everybody falls in love with Michael through all the stuff you go through with the auditions. And then Dorothy walks in and you start to sing that song and you empower that whole entire room of women and you do that number. You watch the whole show shift. They just fall in love with you and they're like, we're just going to take this journey with Dorothy Michaels now.
Yeah, it's a great... It's so much fun to do, and it's also just a great gift to get to play somebody who, like you said, Dorothy is the person everyone wants to walk into the room, and to get to play that part, it's a great thing to get to breathe life into, and because she always will stand up for people and stand up for what's right, but she also has a sense of humor, and she's, it's great. That's a great thing.
All right, so when you first started working on this character, like, was it like the corsets and the clothes and the wigs and the glasses? Because it seems effortless to you now.
Well, it takes a village of people backstage. Brian Stromwasser and Lauren Galatelli and Margot Lawless and Sarah and Laura and Jesse and Joe and Michael Ferguson and Emily. There are so many people behind the scenes making sure that Dorothy has 8 wigs per show, and making sure that they all look great, and making sure I have all my right costumes and nothing is ripped and nothing. I mean, it's I think there's like 27 costumes.
But it's also like everyone on stage too, like making sure everything's okay.
Oh,
we have
God.
changes on stage, and I remember this moment in Chicago where a lot of times your dress would be like undone, so I'd have to secretly snap the dress and then do all these things.
This one, you quite literally get him in and out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes. Or there will be times,
and off stage.
And there are times. I mean, just the other day there was something. There was a little mini malfunction with one of the things, and I just did this. I never turned around in that scene. It keeps you on your toes, definitely. And we've had a lot of rehearsal with it, thank God.
Yeah.
But,
So I was going to ask you, working with Scott Ellis, brilliant director. I mean, like I said, this show moves. This is like comic genius up there, and that train starts, and the second that show begins and it ends, and everyone is on their feet at the end, having the time of their life. I mean, what's it like working with Scott Ellis?
I love Scott. I mean, I had met him 3 years ago up at New York Stage and Film, working on something, and I just got along with him. Because as great as a director he is, and how oftentimes his work can be invisible, you don't see what he actually did and put together, and so you're actually focused on the story as opposed to what it looks like. That's a rare skill, and above and beyond all of that, he's just a good man, a great man, and I feel really lucky to be a friend, think of him as a friend, and also he's a great collaborator. Yeah. He's just very smart as a collaborator, which is rare.
Yeah.
And he says often that his most important job is putting people in a room together and figuring out the right sort of combination of people to create the best product. And I think he's so good at that. And like you said, the show moves. Once it starts, we're on this train. But he also allows us to breathe and live in moments that makes the comedy and makes the story hit home so much better. And it's because he trusts us, we trust him, and we're able to play around and work with these moments and really find them.
I find too that he gives you a long leash initially. Like, he doesn't step in and start noting you right away. Like, he really goes, take it to wherever you want to take it. Which for Sandy was like, I went to some really bizarre places all the way through Chicago. And he was like, keep going, keep going, keep going. Then we got back to New York. And he was like, all right, I'm going to start editing some of this stuff down and bringing her back to earth. And it was so lovely because I was like, God, you just let me go. He goes, well, yeah. He goes, I wanted to see how far you could go, and then we're going to figure out how to, give her a little earth, too. And also, I will say this, making him laugh in the rehearsal room is the best feeling, and we all wanted to do that. Because when he really laughs, he laughs, but he won't just laugh at anything. Like, he's a hard laugher, and it has to be really funny. And so, and he did that, he did do that a lot in rehearsal, but getting him to do that was really satisfying.
For you working with Scott?
Terrible.
No, there has to be one.
Well, someone has to tell the truth, and Andy decided to be the truth teller.
No, come on, he's great. In addition to all of his generosity and things and his shrewdness, he is really, really funny. And he also can wrangle those two 14-year-old boys that made the show.
Which is important.
David and Robert.
ADD the musical, they're working on it right now.
Yes.
They started.
I mean, honestly, there was many times in our rehearsal when, like, we would be working on something and Scott would just shut up!
That happened a lot.
He's like, we were rehearsal only for a certain amount of hours, right? We had to get something done. Then there's the Yazbek.
Yeah, they're the same.
Let's just talk, David. I mean, what a score he has given all of you. These are all beautifully character-driven songs. Besides the other things he has given you, what's it like living in his world of the score of David Yazbek?
I have recently been listening in a different way to the show because we've done it enough times, and now I feel like there's some space, and like I'm listening to things that I haven't heard before. And we're sitting on top of this amazing orchestra, and I'm just hearing every night all kinds of new things that I didn't know were there before.
And that overture, we get that great overture. It's pretty special.
It's something that adds to the fact that our show feels like a very old school classic comedy musical because we get that overture and an entr'acte. You don't really hear that a lot anymore in musicals, and we give the time to it, which I think is so important.
And it's an extension of the book. It's an extension of the stories within those songs are all character and all comedy songs. Not all of them. Some of them aren't, but
the ballads are beautiful too. Just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's all helping to tell the story, which I think is.
And they all work so well together. Yeah. I mean, that's what's the most important thing.
I said they should go on the road together with Scott directing the show. That's what I said to them the other day.
I don't know that they'd ever come back.
Could you just tell one funny thing that maybe happened during a performance or something else?
Oh God.
There's
like so many so recently.
Doorknob.
Well, the doorknob.
Well, we have so many problems with that door.
There's a door. There's an evil door.
It gets beaten.
What, the bleeding? I'm always bleeding.
Yeah, he's always
bleeding. He super glued his finger closed the other day.
I'm fine. You know what? That's how it was invented. World War II. Look it up, people. You know what? I'm fine.
Super glue?
Yes, I don't mess around.
Well,
what do I want? Medium glue? I want super.
I will say we have a text message chain with everybody in the cast and company of pictures of Dorothy's nails and eyelashes. They're everywhere. They get on the bottom of shoes. They're all over the place. Yeah.
She's unstoppable.
It's truly disgusting.
I don't know what to tell you.
So that's what's everywhere. It's the fingernails, right?
Yeah,
fingernails.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been so many.
I know. I don't know.
It's just too many to. I don't even know. We should write a book.
We should write a. Well, what has happened on stage? What's been the weirdest thing that's happened on stage?
Remember when Reg didn't say the word "this"? He just stamped his foot. He just forgot to say the first word of a sentence, so he said. It's a Ron Carlisle show. And I was like, and the entire ensemble started laughing, and I was like, it's just me. We're in front of the curtain, and I was like, oh God, he didn't say the first word. And so then I have to repeat it, and I say, this opening number is benign and dishonest, and I just went, opening number. And then I say it again. And then the whole ensemble turned around, and including Reg.
Yeah.
And then at the end I said, his opening number is Benign and Dishonest, directed by an inept derivative hack, and musical sucks.
I remember listening to it and being like, has everyone lost their mind? What is going on?
They lost it. The entire, and the crew did too. That was the best thing, is I came to get my props and everyone was like, what happened? She's like, I don't know. I just dealt with it. That's what happened.
You're very good at dealing with
I love that stuff.
strange things that happen.
I mean,
The doorknobs, the walls.
glasses.
the people in the audience eating the ice and the chips and the picnics in the middle of the house.
But the
Families,
piece
we
is
love
not
you, but
Which glass?
But
When
the
you timed
picnic
the
time.
scene to the set piece, to
What
the set,
happened?
when you timed your scene to the
Oh,
set
yeah,
piece,
yeah.
That was really
that
good.
amazing.
Oh, that
That
was
was
virtuosic.
amazing.
That was
It
I
was,
thought so
it was
too.
magical. It was
What was
impressive.
that?
Yeah, we gotta explain it.
It was
We're getting-
award-worthy.
It's so fun to listen to people knowing things that they're talking about, isn't it? It's great. It's great for TV too. Let's tell this story.
Jokes are the funniest
So
when
we're
you have to
told
explain them.
right before we go on stage, Andy and I, we're told, listen. So poor Matt Lacey, who's the gentlest,
Yeah.
nicest stage
Yeah.
manager, he's like, just so you know, the set's not gonna move down at the same time. And you can tell he's looking at us terrified and so apologetic.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're like, okay. And he's like, so you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna come down. We're like, yeah, okay, Matt, what do you want us to do? Well, we're gonna stop the show? No, fine. So we're like, we have no idea what that means, but we know it's gonna take a long time. So we finish she throws water on my face, or vodka, sorry. She throws vodka on my face, and then the set, literally, he's not lying, it didn't move. And it's like, so we have like 4 lines before the set has to get all the way down stage to where we are before she can enter.
Yeah,
She's in the middle,
meanwhile,
hidden in a box.
I just have to mention, no one told me that was happening.
Which
And I was inside the box having a panic attack.
Which is so shocking that she would have any neurotic reaction to being trapped
Keep
in a
going.
box. So
Keep
the set
going.
is moving.
It's not
and
a
we
box. She's behind a door.
I was in
No,
a
it's a
box.
box. It's a box.
You can't get out.
The
It's a
character
box.
is not
There are
inside
two
the box.
doors. You
The character is
Yeah.
behind
But it
the
feels
door.
like a box,
Just
so it's
to
a
explain
box.
to people who haven't seen the
Especially
show.
for her, don't trigger
Yeah,
her.
you know.
So the set is moving incredibly slowly, and I'm like, Matt was not lying. This set is not moving, and I'm wiping my face, and let's do it. So Andy just stretches out. We all stretch out the sentences and add words.
Yeah.
Laughing and
Laughing.
also laughing. Ha
So, like,
ha
here's the
ha
set.
ha. There's also music
Ha, ha, ha,
underscoring this
ha,
until
ha.
there's no music. It's over, and then
So
I
the set's
say,
here. Ha ha.
I'm almost done. The vodka is still dripping down his face till he left.
Oh, okay. So I had a little setback. I've conquered more difficult challenges than this. There's 2 lines coming. That's all we have. So we're like,
I still haven't moved.
She's still
I'm
in
still
the
in the
box.
box.
She's taking Zoloft in the box, which is totally fine. And if you need it, you should. So she keeps coming.
Yes, and I say
You're smushing me.
Sorry, it's the set's still coming. Go.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. More challenging things are possible.
Set.
Penguins
Set.
have
Set.
can rotate their heads.
Set.
I think
Finally.
like 360 degrees,
Yes.
but only once.
Set stops.
Man.
Finally. Laugh. She walks through the door.
And
And
nobody
then afterwards,
knows.
no one knows, but afterwards we were like, that was really good. That was impressive. No one would know.
Well, my final question is, if you could sum up the best part of the experience, I see there's many of these. What's the best part of the experience of working on Tootsie?
There's so many.
Yeah.
It's just a joyous, it's joyous in the house with that, to be able to get that many strangers laughing
Yeah.
together is a rare thing. And then to be so happy with the group of people that we are doing it with is even more rare. So, we're lucky.
Yeah, it's so satisfying to love something so
Yeah.
much and to hope that people love it just a fraction as much as you do, and realize that they not only do, but it surpasses your expectations. It's hard to describe the joy that brings you. It's amazing.
I
Same
feel
for you too?
absolutely. I feel like we end the show with a dance all together, and we keep dancing off that stage into the wings. It's so much fun.
And I think that there's something really, really lovely just in the community of the audience. There's something about this piece which feels classic and old, but also new and fresh. And there's
Yes.
a really kind of lovely intergenerationality about it.
Which is rare.
Yeah. You give so much joy, like I said, leaving the theater, when the Tootsie sign comes down, you come up, everyone is out there, everyone is on their feet, every audience member has a smile on their face, and just giggling out, onto 45th Street, 46th Street. It's such a great thing. You're all working at the top of your game. I mean, I wish you could all step out of yourselves and watch what you give an audience. I mean, it's so great to see what you do. And I thank you so much for coming to the Tony Suite today and sitting with me.
Thank you for having us.
Putting you all on the couch together like this tight-knit little family.
Oh. He's squishing me. We're friends.
Look at that.
You're squishing me.
It's like a cramped sleepover.
I won't let you down.